Well, hello everybody, and how are we all doing? As you can tell, Lee's not here tonight. He's had problems, so I've been joined by my lovely wife, Amanda.
That's the best answer.
Good. Speak a bit louder because the microphone's
Sorry.
how are we all doing? How is everybody out there? We are absolutely knackered. I think it's safe to say we're pretty brown. We've caught the sun. We have been down at Gardeners World Live today, down in Bewley, and what a day! What a day! Absolutely beautiful sunshine. Great to get out in to do something normal again. You know, go and see these shows, go and see people. It's been good. It's been good. You enjoyed yourself, didn't you, today?
Yeah, I'm just knackered.
Yeah, she's a little knackered. Hopefully, you can hear her okay. Because she speaks quite quietly, and I've only got the one microphone set up at the moment. But yes, absolutely knackered. We've had a good day. I've got a short interview coming up on the podcast with Adam Frost from Gardeners World. Absolutely not terrified to talk to him, but I'm not very good at asking people, especially somebody of that high caliber, to appear on my little podcast, but he did, and it was fantastic.
It's not a little podcast.
Okay.
Your fantastic, wonderful podcast.
Yes. Okay. So that's coming up on the podcast tomorrow. What else have we been doing? Well, yesterday here at home, I've been busy planting out my plants, getting tomatoes and marigolds and chard all into the ground. Tomorrow I'm going down the allotment, but some of you may have heard, if you were a supporting member, on Thursday we unfortunately lost one of our chickens, which has been a bit of a tragic loss this week. But I don't want to dwell on it too much. It's sad, but these things happen. It's part of keeping animals and pets. Let's have a quick look at the comments and see what everyone's saying. So Philly SPB is saying hi all. Idaho Garden Girl is saying hello to you. Stuart Jackson, great timekeeping. Hope you enjoyed the first show of 2021. I'll get into it in a moment. Hargrave Gas, or Hargrave Vegas, I can't remember how it's pronounced. Will people have remembered it's 8 p.m. tonight? Looking forward to it, whatever the time. I hope everyone did remember. I did try and make announcements to remind everyone. Oracle has joined. Hello to you. Been in the sun today then? Yeah, we've definitely been in the sun. This was with suntan lotion on as well. Ian Meadows. Hello, Ian. You've made it. Ian Meadows, looks like you were sunbathed. Ian was actually at the show today as well, so we had managed to chat to him and see how he was. Idaho is asking how was it at Gardeners World. We'll get into that in just a moment. Go into a few details. I would say I forgot 8 o'clock. My lights go off. My grow lights. Hi all from Ballysillian. Hope you all had a great time. Yeah, fantastic. Man and Vissa has joined. Hello to you. Man on Vissa, that's how it's pronounced. Sorry. Dad's joined. Good evening to you both. Looks like you've had a good time in the sunshine. Yep. Hello to Adrian. He says hello to us both. Nui99, hello to you. Hope you are well. And Ballysillian has got everything planted out at last. Absolutely fantastic. Stuart Jackson, sorry. Good evening, Amanda. Yeah, don't forget, otherwise I'll get in trouble. And Turbo Stream, evening all. All right. Late to the stream. Well, usually this is the first time in well over a year that I haven't made my 6 o'clock slot. So I think that's pretty good going.
No one wanted it from the car.
No one wanted it from the car at all. So let's quickly bring up, if you want to call in, the phone line is open and the number is 07307 135 174. And if you want to zap yourself in, the link is in the comments right now. So Gardeners World, let's get it out of the way before we find out about interplanting. What were your thoughts, dear, first of all?
Thanks for putting me on the spot.
You're welcome.
it was definitely smaller
And
than
then-
normal.
Than the NEC at Birmingham, yeah.
Yeah, but in fairness, they were amazing with social distancing. It's a shame members of the public were there who didn't understand it.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, I mean, they kept running around and telling people to distance and what have you to try and make sure they had it. Even the presenters on the stage were telling people. Unfortunately, not everyone was paying attention to the point somebody literally laid on the floor right in front of me when I've been stood there for 20 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, that goes on, doesn't it?
I found that entertaining.
It was quite entertaining. It was quite entertaining.
Stalls were good.
The stalls were very good. Yes, I got a willow wand, so we're going to be growing a little willow tree, something you've always wanted. And I brought some biochar. Now, this is something I've heard a lot about, biochar. I don't know if anybody has had any experience out there using biochar, but it's something we can add to the soil, add to our pots, soaks in moisture, so it should keep them going for a bit longer. It's the in thing, and what we've also moving to peat free. Now it's actually becoming law in 2025 that peat can't be used. I think the biochar is one of the things that we're looking at as a replacement, and I'm going to be running experiments with this and see if it works. If anyone's had any experience with biochar, let us know in the comments.
What is it? What's it made from?
It's charcoal. It's basically charcoal. The company that I spoke to today, who are also on the podcast tomorrow, they have reclaimed some of the trees that have been cut down to ash due to ash dieback, which is happening quite badly, especially in our area. There's entire roads or dual carriageways where the sides have just had all the trees chopped down, and that's due to this ash dieback. So that's pretty. That being turned into charcoal, I think it's going to be a good thing.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah,
something good coming out of something awful.
Something awful. Yeah, absolutely. What else? There was a lot of. Actually, it was quite a few, and it was good. We could get around them. The display gardens. There was a few big ones and a few small ones, but they weren't overly busy. Normally, if I go to some of the other shows, the display gardens are so rammed because so many people want to go and see them. This time it didn't happen so much. It was pretty easy to get to. I thought that was good.
I was impressed with the first one.
Yeah. Let's have a quick look at the comments again, and then we'll come back. So Amanda Kirkland has joined and saying hello to everyone. Hello to you. Oracle has joined and saying, did you give Monty an interview, Richard? Monty wasn't there, and to be honest,
you were too busy.
I was incredibly busy. I've also I get a bit starstruck, I think, and it takes a lot of confidence even to go up and to ask Adam Frost. It was, she had to push me, sort of thing. But I know Monty can be very difficult to get on the podcast, very difficult. But if I get a chance, I would certainly give it a try. Adam was lovely, though, I've got to say. I think he knew I was a bit shy and worked with me quite nicely. In fact, he told his wife to wait. So,
brave man.
Brave. Was that the one stall with the sign, it's not for the barbecue? Yes, because Ian was actually there. We spoke to him, as I said earlier. And the biochar, they had this trouble that everyone thought they were selling charcoal for the barbecue, and they had to put a sign saying it's not for the barbecue. Really quite interesting, that sort of dilemma. You weren't there for that bit.
No, but I saw that sign.
Yeah, it really dilemma. I mean, it does look like charcoal. It's in a charcoal bag, but it's not. It's biochar, and it's meant to be used in the garden. So, yeah. Nui, I was given 6 large tubs of biochar yesterday from my sister. Her work were throwing them out. What a result. Her work. Well, there you go. Six large tubs. I don't know how big the tubs, but the place today was selling a sack of biochar for £15. So let's say that was one tub. That's £15 times 6. You can tell my maths is off. 30, 45, £90 worth.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. And I know he's moving to this place in a large field that she's got to manage and try and turn. So it's probably going to come into a lot of good use down there, I'd imagine. I'm really interested to see just how well this biochar works. Somebody in the Facebook group has joined and says, hello, sir. Hello to you. Unfortunately, if you're in the Facebook group, I may not see who you are. So please just put your name in at the end. You also won't see any comments that I put up. Just to make you aware, it's just one of the things because Facebook is pretty funny with Facebook groups due to privacy settings. Ian Beddoes, I liked walking around the kitchen gardens. That Facebook member, by the way, the Facebook group member was Richard Golding. I've just seen. I thought it was Richard Golding, but I couldn't be sure. I was walking around the yeah. This is the other thing that I thought was fantastic about today, being held in Bewley Gardens or Bewley National Motor Museum. Now, normally when it's at the NEC in Birmingham, fantastic venue at the NEC, but it is designed for hosting events. It's not designed for a trip to garden. Whereas what I found today, and I like this about Bewley, we could go and have a look at the gardens of the houses or the grounds. You had the big Victorian gardens, the big greenhouses. Even we were able to go in and look at the National Motor Museum as well. So for the money of a ticket, I thought we got quite a good deal with all that thrown in. Really good day out, I've got to say. Really good day out.
I think that's why I was so tired.
Yeah. Stuart Jackson. This weekend I planted sweet peas with peas as well as other flowers around my vegetable patch. There we go. Yeah, well, save that thought, Stuart, because that's coming up in just a moment. Oracle, I meant it the other way around. Did Monty not want to interview the Veg Ground podcast? One day he will. He'll be knocking at the front door begging me. No, that ain't going to happen. But it's nice.
No, you don't know that thing. Be positive.
Be positive. Be positive. What is your preferred method to remove bindweed without damaging the fruit, veg, herbs, etc., etc.? So yeah, okay. This is a good gardening question. I'll put this out there to everyone else and how they would do it. What I would say with bindweed, my preferred method, and it depends how bad you've got it, but that is just to keep pulling it out. Keep pulling it out. As soon as you see it, pull it out. The bindweed does have a habit of regrowing from its roots. So if you don't remove the roots, it can regrow. But the thing is, those roots are fed by its leaves. So as soon as you see it, pull it out, eventually it will die back. It does take a lot of work doing it that way. You could use weed killer, but I refuse to use that stuff. It drives her mad.
It does in the drive, yeah.
Yeah, even on the drive I won't use it. You could hoe if you're careful. I've got a hoe somewhere, I don't think it's in here, which actually has a circular end, and that's very good for hoeing in between those sort of delicate plants because it's protecting them because it's circular. I can't think where it is. It's not in here. I've got two of them. It took me forever to find one, and then I found the other. So yeah, that's what I would say. Just keep removing them as soon as you see it. Just keep pulling it out. Keep constantly. And I almost want to say go and check it daily to try and make sure if it's a particularly bad problem on your plot. So I was. Let's finalise with Gardener's World. You're going to hear more of it on the podcast tomorrow. Overall, I thought it was a really, really good day out. I would have liked to see a few more stalls, a few more talks going on. But apart from that, I mean, given that it's post-COVID as well, and nobody's really sure and didn't want to commit, I can see why it was a bit difficult. But on a whole, I can't say it was anything negative in many ways. Yeah, I think that kind of sums it up, really. Good day out, visit to the gardens and the motor museum thrown in.
Ruins,
Urbexa. It was good. It was very, very good. So with that, the topic for tonight is, what do you interplant with your crops? Now, this question came in from Amanda Joy, who I don't know if I haven't seen it tonight. Normally she joins in. She asked me last week about interplanting, and as a question for this this show. You can tell I'm tired. It's been a long day for this show. And I thought that's a great question. I'm going to throw it out there and see if anybody has interplanted any particular plants with their crops. Something I'm doing at the moment is planting nasturtiums and marigolds in with my tomatoes, in with my beans, basil in with my tomatoes as well, in order to try and boost them. This probably means absolutely nothing to you, does it?
No, I was just wondering what you were doing in the garden related to that. Does that mean we might get some colour?
We've got marigolds in the garden. I've planted those out. They're just very small at the moment, but we've got marigolds. We'll have nasturtiums. There is colour.
And we can eat nasturtiums, can't we?
We can eat nasturtiums, yeah. We've got the
what
wild
about pansies.
Pansies you can eat, yeah, and violas.
No, but I meant, could you plant them with something?
I have actually got some in the garden already.
I know nothing about that.
I risk my case. Now, Stuart hit on this earlier. He's planted sweet peas with peas as well as other flowers around my vegetable patch.
I like that idea.
I've actually sown some wildflower seeds. I'm hoping they're going to germinate in a little area. I've spoke about this on the podcast around my herb area / orchard, although it's only got one tree, which I don't think is alive. So it's not really an orchard. Although it's got the elder tree actually, so it is an orchard. But yeah, we got herbs, wildflowers, and that's going to bring in the pollinators.
Is the peonies still there?
The peonies are still there. We've got several peonies, especially for you. On that question about bindweed, Turbo Stream is saying, I pulled bindweed out, but in my garden it is coming in from under the fence from next door. Just keep pulling it back. Just keep ripping it off is all I would say.
And tell your neighbours to pull it out.
And tell your neighbours to pull it out. Have a word with them. Again, the more you pull it out, plants do have a tendency as well, I find. They know where they're going to get damaged. They don't tend to push themselves in there. So if you look alongside busy roads, you can literally see where the lorries have driven down and the trees have sort of worked their way around them. So keep doing that, and that'll work quite well. Knowledge Quest, thank you. I also refuse to use chemicals of any kind. So it's not just me. There you go, dear.
I know, but it's just the driveway looks hideous with the amount of weeds in it that I have to keep pulling up.
Yeah. I mean, we do get a lot of weeds. We've got a flamethrower thing, but that didn't really do anything on the drive, we found. Yeah,
but also I'm not using that because we'll probably burn the house down.
Yeah. Turbo Stream, if you can use a fork and gently tease the root out, that's a better method for getting rid of bindweed. Yeah, it's difficult when you've got plants growing in there. I do know that. That's why I just say pull it out as much as you can. I'm new to gardening and start off with basil, marigolds with tomatoes. Beautiful. There you go. New to gardening and you're already doing that. And I'll come to something in a moment about that. Sorry, hit the wrong one. Beatrice has joined. Hello to you. Hope you are well. Turbo Stream, I'm letting some of my self-seeded calendula grow between my onions and beans to see what happens. That happens automatically on my allotment, funny enough. They just grow automatically and I don't have to do anything, and I've left them because they are quite pretty, to be fair. Ballycillian saying, marigolds for me, their scent is so strong, helps confuse the bugs. And that's one of the great things. It's like a crop that pots off certain bugs, and it also helps bring in those beneficial pollinators. Now, this brings me on to the question from Ian Beddoes that I saw earlier, who's asking us to explain what happens when you plant marigolds with tomatoes. So when you plant marigolds with tomatoes, first of all, the flowers, they attract more of the bees, more of the pollinating insects. So they're going to go get that pollen from that marigold. And if they're near your tomatoes, they're then going to go and investigate the tomato flowers. And therefore, that's going to pollinate your tomatoes and lead you to getting more tomatoes. Basically, that's the thing with marigolds. They also have a certain appeal where they attract or deter certain pests as well. And basil was the other one that was mentioned to grow with tomatoes. Basil and tomatoes grown together improves the flavour. So in my greenhouse, I've got my tomatoes grown in there, and around the base, there's going to be basil as well in order to improve the flavour of the tomatoes. We get basil because we eat quite a bit of basil. We tend to anyway. We make pestos and stuff like that. Delicious. And tomatoes and basil, just there's something about them. It just seems to work well together.
I really want
in the
cheese
kitchen.
now.
There you go.
Cheese, tomato, basil.
Well, I have got a little cooking video coming up in a bit. Oracle, can we eat bindweed? After last week, I am waiting on this one. I don't know, is my honest answer.
Bindweed soup.
Bindweed is, if I remember right, related to poison ivy, or from the same family as deadly nightshade, thinking about it. But tomatoes and potatoes are in that same family. So I don't think bindweed is edible. So I'm not going to go and say eat it at all. After last week with the mare's tail, which there's conflicting evidence whether that's edible or not. So I'm going to stay, unless I know it's edible, don't eat it. Ballycillian is saying, I plant them between tomatoes in the polytunnel, helps keep the whitefly away. This is marigolds, I assume. This is great. This is a great thing where someone asks a question, we all throw in all these things as to why these things happen. Growing marigolds helps keep the whitefly away, which can decimate your crops, of course. Our Days Out has joined. Hello, good evening to you. That's one of Richard Vobes' oldest followers. There you go. Turbo Stream, Oracle, try it. If you don't show next week, we'll know it's poisonous. Please don't do that. I don't want that on my conscience. Yeah, there you go. Stuart Jackson, I don't think we should have rules about flowers in a flower bed and veg in veg patches. I mix them all together, and which helps pollution and also keeps your wife happy. It's all about keeping a wife happy. All about keeping a wife happy. I say that many, many times. But yeah, a potager style garden is something I quite like the idea of. I've just found a potager is where you would have edibles and ornamentals grown together, and they complement each other. So the idea is the edibles look good, the ornamentals are there to look good. The truth is, I'm not clean and tidy enough for that, which is why I don't do that. I'm not neat and tidy enough. So I like the idea of a potager, but I don't think I've necessarily got it in me to create that perfect look. This was actually something that Adam Frost was talking about on stage today, not on the interview I did with him. On stage, he was talking about edible flowers. And did you know the some lupins are actually edible out there? I think there's only about 5 varieties that are edible, but I didn't know that. And he was on about how his globe artichokes or cardons, how they are architecturally really quite good in a garden as well.
But I don't think that should be a perfect garden if it's a potager garden, or neat and tidy myself. I like the chaos of a cottage style garden.
Yeah, you much prefer the cottage style garden, which I gotta admit I do prefer, but I think I would get annoyed trying to walk down and then standing on plants because I have a tendency to do that. So
me too, but I don't often know I've stood on them.
Sure, must have tried his advice. No sign of him yet. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He sent me some an article actually after the show, which did actually say that this must have been eating mare's tails. So the thing, it's like they say rhubarb is poisonous or rhubarb leaves are poisonous, but I've read a lot of research that actually says that the poison in the leaves is the same as what's in the stem, and you've got to eat so much of it that you would end up with bursting your stomach before it actually poisoned you. So it's kind of true, and I wonder if that's the same with mare's tail. But again, I'm not going to go and say eat either of those because they do say they are poisonous.
Sounds like we've gone to Harry Potter. Mare's tail.
Yeah, mare's tail.
I missed last week.
Yeah, mare's tail is a really nasty weed. I believe it actually comes back from Jurassic period. So it's been around for a long, long time. And miners used to say when they mined underneath their allotments, they could see the roots in the mines. It's that nasty. In fact, in a village I used to live in Pulborough, the nurseries there they basically put in a reservoir and they used dynamite to blow this soil up. And once they blew it up, they cleared it all. There was a load of mare's tail roots still survived, and they still had mare's tail come back. Really, really nasty weed.
But if it's been about since Jurassic, then that's amazing.
Yeah. I pull the bindweed and let it dry out on the slab. It then goes in the compost heap. Yeah, I mean, I quite enjoy pulling out bindweed because it's just something, it just satisfied. And when it wraps itself around a stick or something, it's just something satisfying about bindweed. I also got to admit, I quite like the flowers of bindweed because they're beautiful white flowers. It's just they're such a pernicious weed and keep coming back that it's pretty nasty, and it does create a lot of foliage. I remember my first vegetable garden. Now this is going back to when I was 10 years old. It was this area right at the very top of my garden that it was my dad's vegetable garden, and it didn't get used for years. And I decided to take it on, and I ended up clearing it up. And there was just loads and loads of bindweed and brambles there. And for some reason, the bindweed, I always remember removing that from the back. And just whenever I see it, that's instantly where I get taken back to. Little bit of history for you all. Allotmento has joined. Hello to you. Hope you are well. Good evening to you. And knowledge, this turbo stream, I just learned to mix with other weeds to make natural fertilizer. Yeah, there's a lot that you can do with a lot of your weeds. I tend to compost a lot of it because I need a lot of compost. Now, if you want to zap yourself in and appear on the screen, I've popped the link up in the comments right now, or you can call in on 07307 135 174. But before you do all that, let's have a quick little video of what I've been cooking this week. Which one is it? I think it's this one. No, it's... We were laughing about that, and I left that in on purpose. If you've noticed, when I put the liquidizer on, I got sprayed in it. It's something that liquidizer is really, really good when you first turn it on, even with a lid on, and I've got my hand on top. It just sprays us no matter what we do.
This is why I always stick the kitchen towel on.
Yeah, I should have done the kitchen towel, but I was in a bit of rush to make that. So, as always, I'd like to show you how it looks. Is that the right? Oh, hang on. Why isn't that found? Oh, my overhead camera isn't finding for some reason. Oh, it's pulled itself out. Well, don't worry about it. I've got a little bowl full here. There you go. And let's give it a try.
Someone's done that on purpose.
There we go. We've got a caller. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you're calling from? Oh, okay. They've gone. They've gone. I just answered and they went.
Your soup.
The soup, absolutely delicious. Come on, light, come back on.
It's mood lighting. It's
Mood
fine.
lighting. Yeah, no, the soup, absolutely delicious. Really, really tasty. Much better when, there we go, that's better. Much better when it's warm.
It tasted nice when you gave it to me yesterday.
But even cool, it's really nice. Nice and creamy, I thought.
Yeah, the blender enjoyed it.
Blender enjoyed it. There's something about asparagus, especially fresh asparagus as well. Just seems to go really well in soups and things like that, doesn't it?
Oh, I really like asparagus soup.
Yeah, that was really tasty, really tasty. There will be a video out, and I'll put that in the, as you probably noticed with my non-live videos, I tend to put you guys get to see it first, and then I'll put it out on a video and with the correct instructions in the description. Let's have a quick look in the comments. I can see a lot of people have been commenting. Ian Beddoes, does drying nettles mean I could pot them? Excuse me, that's the asparagus for you. Pot them on the heap. It will stop them from coming back. But I tend to pot all mine in the compost heap anyway. I do run over everything with a lawnmower first. But I don't put the roots in though. All I do is I'll chop them down and throw them in the compost heap, and that's it. If it was the roots, then yes, dry out the roots before they go in the compost heap. That way they won't grow. Or stick the roots in a bucket of water and leave them for a while so it will stink, but that will stop them coming back as well, because you're just killing them off really. On that note of composting, Young Ground goes, hey Richard, hope you're both well. For any really pernicious weeds, I find hot composting does a great job. Brambles, etc. could work well too. Well, that's kind of why I run over everything with a lawnmower, because that chops everything up really nice and small, gets really, really hot, to the point if I lift the lid off, steam literally comes out of my compost bins. And it breaks down to a beautifully fine, crumbly compost that doesn't get any weeds. They do say it's very difficult on the small allotments or small compost heaps, sorry. It's difficult to get the compost hot enough, but I do find that really does work. Ian Beddoes, I bet Amanda could make it in half the time and with half the mess without having to move camera shots. You are probably right. You are probably right.
We've done a video before when I did it.
Yes.
And you made me do it in different shots.
Yes, I can't remember which one it was though.
I could have thought it was a cake.
Yeah, I think it was a cake. Yeah. Cashew nuts are a nice alternative to cream if you don't do dairy. Cashew. I can see why they've got quite a.
You can make cashew nut milk and cashew nut butter.
Yeah. What's the other one that I grow? Grows like a grass. It's tiger nuts. You can make tiger nut milk from that. You weren't keen on it, but we'll try anyway. The soup looks lovely, but the choice of music was bad. Sounded like a ride in the fun fair. I was in a rush. I had to quickly find something in that time that I could just throw together, and it was like, that's exactly the time I need. So sorry. Yes, I will change the music.
Oh, I need to hear what that music was.
Yeah, we couldn't hear it, but it's a trouble. I don't know if any video makers out there, when they try and find music to pair with their videos, it's a challenge. I always struggle with that side of things. I spend hours searching for music on my music supplier compared to when I just do it normally, or it's in the videos. If I can make a video fairly quickly these days, but finding the right music, that's a challenge.
Well, that's what you do all the time.
That's what I do all the time. Then. I spend more time finding music. Jen's Allotment Adventures has joined. Hello, sorry I'm late. Did you guys have a good day at Gardeners World Live? Yeah, we discussed that at the beginning, so I don't want to go back over it, but a fantastic day, I think it is, as you can tell by how red we are.
And how quiet we are.
And how quiet we are and how tired we are. Toadstream, I struggled to get the compost hot. No mower at the allotment plot. I took your advice on adding more carbon to the heap. Yeah, I mean, that's why I've got a little petrol lawnmower which is dying on the allotment. I mean, it's knackered. It's dying. It doesn't even start at the moment. But that's why I got it. It cost me 20 quid or something. Really cheap, just to leave on the allotment. So if it gets stolen, it doesn't really matter. But that's why I have it on there, just so I can chop everything up. Plus, I'm using grass clippings a lot more for mulching. Richard Golden says, Benny Hill music. Benny Hill song every time, Richard. Yeah. I don't quite know if that works with, I mean, I'm not monetized on YouTube anyway, but I don't think that would work quite well with that anyway. And Jen says, music is a nightmare for videos. Why I only use one piece at the start and go back and watch. I'll go back and watch. So you don't have to, but wait till the end to go back and keep adding to the comments. Sorry, I didn't want to be rude, and I don't want to bore everyone by going over what we said before.
And you're too tired to remember.
I'm too tired. I'm too tired. What was I saying? What else? There you go. I should. Working a ratio of 2 parts carbon to 1 part nitrogen. Heaps work really well at about 3 foot, but obviously difficult in smaller spaces. Probably better to try your weeds out in this case. Yeah, I mean, it's a science. If you really want to get into it, the science of composting, in order to get good compost that doesn't bring in weeds, you've got to add carbon. I find what I found, obviously, with the chickens at home, we have a lot of carbon from when I clean out the chickens. And that goes in, I mow the lawn, all the weeds get thrown on there, including all our prunings when we cut down things. No wonder our lawnmowers have trouble working. But it all gets chopped up nice and small and just rots down so quickly as well.
You're vicious with them.
We are. Well, Turbo Stream like to see music, so who knows? For me, it was French sounding, so I just thought it kind of goes.
It's not French onion soup.
I know, but it just kind of worked. I use a hand push lawnmower at the allotment. I tried that. It's far too much work, and it's a lot of exercise. You soon get fit, so. But again, they are useful, and we ended up with a couple of hand push lawnmowers that I thought they'd go great on the allotment. I don't have the energy anymore, so all credit to you for using one. Stuart Jackson, sounds like the show was harder work than a day in the garden. I
think it's the sun. We're not used to the sun because it's been raining for so many weeks and not dry.
I think this is sun. I probably didn't sleep too well last night. I was excited. We were up and out the door by 8 o'clock. In the sun, lot of talking, seeing people as well. That was a weird thing. Seeing people milling about.
And without masks.
And without masks.
Because we were outside.
Outside, yeah. It was weird in that sense. Gents, I spent 5 hours on the plot, filled a compost bin, and then there was told of another. Finally have 2, one for weeds and one for plant matter manure. Yay. Now somebody has zapped himself in. Let's go find out who it is. Hello, mate.
Evening, both. Yeah, I just thought I'd rescue you.
Thank you.
You look knackered.
We feel it. We feel it.
You'd have been better off staying on the allotment.
Yeah, but I've got to admit, we went to a show end of last year, which wasn't very good.
It was cold.
It was cold and there wasn't much gardening, but it was right at the end of the season. And I love going to these shows. I mean, I first met you at a show, and I've met many other people at shows. And that's what I love about these things, is that it's still gardening, but you're able to network and see people.
Yeah.
And check. I mean, I went around with a T-shirt saying, "Warning, I will talk about gardening." And
yeah,
it was good.
Oh, good. As long as you've had fun.
Yeah, definitely. Now, interplanting with crops. I know you've only started growing your vegetables last year, but is this something that you do in your ornamental gardens?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's make the most of the space you've got. So I have a flower bed that is purely a flower bed. But my veg patch, I found I had sweet peas left over, and I had nasturtiums left over, and I had marigolds left over. And I thought, well, stick them in the veg patch. Because then it gives you some colour while you're waiting for everything else.
Yeah.
Because as you know, the boar beans are in flower, but that's it at the moment. So it will give us some colour while we're waiting for everything else. That's the way I look at it, and help pollination. And it does stop the white fly or green fly, but it's a learning. I've only learnt that. I have put carrots amongst the among the flowers before, but I get told off for that. So, but at school, the kids plant whatever they want, wherever they want. So there's no rules at school. There's no straight lines. There's no. The only thing that I stipulate is when we do sweet corn, they have to be in a block, but only because you told me.
Yeah.
So that's the only rule we got, really. So I just think people get into this is how we should do it. It's how you do it, not how everybody else does it. So what works for you might not work for me, or vice versa. Yeah. But because my veg patch is quite small and my flower bed is quite small, really, in comparison to my garden, to my whole garden, it's quite small. So it's just make the most of the space that I've got available. So and people say, "Oh, I've got no room. I've got no room," but you have. Get a bucket. As you're probably aware, I use flower buckets to collect my water, but I've also got flower buckets that I put carrots in, or parsnips in, or beetroot in. So you use the space the best you can to get the most from your garden, really.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. I mean, I'm in the process of creating everything edible in my garden, but that does include certain flower crops and like ferns. There's some edible ferns out there. There's hostas, they're edible. I've learned about lupins today, which I'm on the search for.
Yeah, but you've just taught me that, and I've grown lupins for 10 years, and I never knew that.
No,
so I'll be looking out for them as well.
Yeah. We said earlier about violas and pansies; they're all edible.
Yeah.
And I think if I try and incorporate, not that it gets any notice, as proven earlier. I try and incorporate those sort of things in order to add a bit of colour.
Yeah, Yeah, it is. But I think what you've got to do is give Amanda her own little Patrick.
Sorry, say that again.
You've gone quiet on me now, mate.
No, what did he say?
I said, say that again.
Oh, let Amanda have her own little patch so she can have her own flowers where she wants them.
I don't know if you could see her face because she's just slightly off camera. That was.
I really don't have time for that.
Yeah. I've sort of made her a wildflower area. We're just waiting for it to germinate.
Yeah. That will, once they germinate, you will love it. It really does bring the insects in, which then in turn bring the birds in, which gets rid of your slugs and stuff. So yeah, and caterpillars. So it does work, the wildflower area.
I mean, we've been quite lucky. We always have birds in our garden, and they take up residency quite often.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're quite lucky because you've got the seagulls, and they will eat the big slugs as well. So, and the chickens do as well. But I'm struggling with slugs this year because of the clay soil. I think I'm beginning to miss the chickens.
Yeah, get some chickens. I'm going to encourage. I mean, they are great for slug and snail control. I do believe the seagulls help with that as well. Although at 4 o'clock in the morning when they go, rah, 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 it's not so pleasant.
No. But I have got a question for you. You've shown that beautiful asparagus soup. If I was to plant asparagus this year, I know it's probably too late now, how long would it take before I got a crop?
Right. If you get a asparagus root, if you like, and you can get those that can be planted in the autumn.
Yeah.
So you've got a couple of months to prepare, 3 months to prepare the bed, get it completely weed free, and you can plant them in the autumn. They won't be ready next year. The following year, you could probably lightly harvest them, but very lightly. But the year after that, definitely. Because what I've learned from Bob Flowerdew. By sowing them in the autumn or planting them in the autumn, you've got a year ahead than the spring ones.
Yeah. I need to make my garden about 2 foot wider all the way round so that my new clutch fits on perfectly. So that would be 2 foot. Is that wide enough or not?
Oh yeah. Mine's only about 1 meter wide. So and now I've got several in that bed.
Yeah.
So if you're only doing one row, that's plenty, and you do get a lot of asparagus.
Good. It just look really good.
Oh, it is delicious. It is delicious. When it comes to planting asparagus, when you can grow it from seed, but that takes quite a while and it's difficult. But when it comes to planting asparagus crowns, what you've got to do is put a mound of soil or dig out a trench, but put a mound in the centre, spread the crowns out on that, and then backfill it. And that way it will establish quite nicely. Yeah, with me?
I will try to get that done this autumn.
Yeah. Just give you more work to do.
I need to make more. I just need to grow more veg. That's what I need to do. And then I don't buy so much because as I found last year, it tastes so much better from your own garden than it does from the supermarket. And I don't think you particularly save money, but this quality is better. Yeah, I agree with that. Totally agree with that. Yeah. So while you're here, Stuart, so I was going to say, while you're here, Stuart, do you want to have a look at some of these comments that are coming in? Come on, Em. All right. So Jen's allotment is saying, if it's a push mower helps me lose weight, I'm in. If a push mower helps me lose weight, I'm in. Have you ever used a push mower? Not for a good 40 years. They're hard work, aren't they? They are hard work, yeah. That's why I've got an electric one and a petrol one. Yeah. Ernie has joined a bit later today. Nice one. Yep, sorry, we went later due to being at a show.
Turbo Stream. Mike Poultney, near to me, is a compost guru. That's why he's called the Compost King. If you can understand his accent, it is. I can be in a brummy. Yeah, I urge, if you are interested in composting, go and check out Mick Poultney, the Compost King. What he doesn't know about compost isn't worth knowing. What else? Laura W. Hello to you. I planted out lots of marigolds around my veg today where I could fit them in, hoping they're close enough. What have you found when it comes to planting plants close enough for pollination? Do you find just as long as they're in the area, it works?
Yeah, just in the area. You don't want you. I think we leave too much space sometimes. And we're talking about bindweed. If you leave any space, the bindweed will find it. Any weeds will. So keep filling in the gaps. That's what I do. And you can always take it out and put it in a pot or move it. You know, especially flowers, you can pick them up. As long as you've got a decent root ball on them, you can transplant them. Or as you're harvesting veg, just move them into the gaps.
Yeah.
So, but I have found, I meant to say to you, I found some really good peat-free compost. It's maize based. It's Natural Grower.
I've heard of them.
And it's made from maize straw.
Interesting. I'm hearing good things about them. So.
Yeah, they sent me some for school. It's amazing. Absolutely. Really good stuff. It's no good for seeds, but it's great for potting on. And
fantastic.
For soil improver. So somebody like me and you that's got clay, it's really ideal to dig it in.
There we go. I'll have to check those out, and I'm hearing good things about them.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Ian Beddoes. I was really happy this year when the seeds I managed to save for my lupins have germinated. Wow, there you go. Saved your own seed.
Brilliant. They might not be the same colour.
May not, yeah. You never know, but you've got nothing to lose.
No.
Sorry, carry on, Stuart. There's a huge delay as always.
Yeah, they may not be the same colour, but you might have a colour that nobody else has got.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Turbo Stream, my wildflower seeds are yet to germinate too. It's been a slow year this year. Everything is behind.
Mr. Frost said that today.
Mr. Frost said that today.
So you're paying attention.
Yeah. Ian Beddoes, I suggest Amanda can plant whatever she wants on the drive.
Oh, he's brave.
He's brave, very brave, very brave.
That means I get a new drive then and no plants.
Where would we park our vehicles? My Idaho garden girl says her chickens will not eat slugs and snails.
Interesting.
Ooh.
I do find they prefer the small ones. They don't like the bigger ones. Yeah. Adrian is saying 3 years.
Is that in relation to asparagus?
Possibly due to asparagus. Yeah. And Ian Beddoes, 3 plants. Absolutely, yeah. This is the thing with saving seeds. It can be 3 plants, so give it a shot.
That's brilliant. I save my lupins every year, but I just put them when I go on the sale table. It's just mixed colours, so I can't guarantee the colours, but I don't care. So, like I said, he may find he's got a colour that nobody else has got, and then that's how you breed flowers.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing when we do save seeds, so you never know what you're going to get anyway.
No, that's right.
No.
Anyway, I better go and leave you two because I think you two will have an early night tonight.
Yeah, I've got to put out a supporters club podcast after this, so then we'll have an early night.
Yeah.
No rest for the wicked.
Well, you said it, Rich, not me.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your input, Stuart. It's fantastic as always.
Yeah, you two take care.
Take care. Cheers. There we go. Let's get him out of there. It's nice. I mean that nicely. Oh, always nice to see Stuart come on the screen and chat to us. I think we've caught up on the comments. Idaho Garden Girl. Maybe UK slugs and snails are tastier than Idaho slugs and snails. I don't know. I mean, I do notice.
We can send some over.
I do notice that my chickens tend to eat the smaller slugs and snails. Perhaps when they get too big, they probably think they're too big to eat. But then Adrian does say, and I've seen this myself, chickens used to eat mice and baby rats. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is now.
You're losing it.
I'm losing it. We're going close to the end. I'm not gonna go into extra time tonight because I need to get off. Knowledge quest. Do you use halos for tomatoes? If so, what are the benefits using the halos? I've only just started using halos this year, actually. I bought some from a garden centre when they were selling them off cheap, like I usually do buy anything when they sell them off cheap. And I put them in a greenhouse. And the idea here is you get a moat around the tomatoes, you fill up with water, and it just helps keep the tomatoes constantly with water at the roots. That's the idea for halos. Where I perhaps have gone wrong, I've put them in my greenhouse where I have my automatic drip waterers, so my tomatoes never run out of water anyway. So what I probably should have done, use my halos outside, but that's the main advantage. I don't know if anybody else out there does use them. Let us know in the comments, or you can call it in on 07307 135 174, or you can zap yourself in just like as Stuart just done. Although we're probably only going to go, what is it? 2 minutes. We'll couple more or 5 more minutes, and then we'll close up anyway, because I know I'm tired and this is difficult. It's making her laugh.
Yeah, I think it's sleepy hysteria.
Adrian, I don't mow, I let the sheep out.
Don't. I wanted to bring a cow home the other day after an explore.
A cow?
Yeah.
A cow.
It was okay. It might have been a small bull. It was so cute though.
Yeah.
It could have done the lawn.
Yeah.
That's how you know then.
No, not in this garden. Ian Meadows says it was lovely to meet us both today and picking the brains about over the veggie pods. Now, Amanda wasn't here for that conversation. Amanda, what do you think of a veggie pod?
Best thing ever.
There you go. That's from her. No, I'm not going to call it a horse's mouth, but
from the horse's mouth. And I don't garden, so that's a lot from me.
My slugs eat the chickens. They're big and fat brown things, horrible things. Yeah.
What, the chickens or the slugs?
The chickens or the slugs. Oh dear. Ballysoon, I was always told to feed tomatoes ground level, water from below. That's why they like the halos. And that's
they like the halos.
Yeah, that's probably completely true, because I try not to get water on the leaves of our tomatoes, because that can lead to a great number of problems. Idaho Garden Girl, we only have small grey slugs over here. The largest that I've seen is 1 inch long. Oh, okay. Compared to ours, that's quite small then. I don't know. Perhaps they just don't like them.
Oh, we'll send our chickens over.
Our chickens.
Yeah. We could try and have a little holiday.
Go and teach them what to do. Yeah. Right. So let's try and drag this through now for the last couple of minutes. Interplanting. So there's a lot of talk about marigolds and basil going in with our tomatoes. Pansies. Don't really interplant with those, but they're good for attracting pollinators.
Why can't we try it? There's no rules.
No rules. There are
I've
no
learned
rules.
that. There's no rules.
No rules. Try things.
Mm.
The other interplanting that I did think I would bring up was carrots and onions, growing those together, because the smell of the onions deters carrot root fly, and the smell of the carrots deter onion fly, as I understand it. That's the only other interplanting that I can think of at this present moment in time. I should do that because I'm going to. If I laid against my head, I'll fall asleep.
I don't know how to log off, so please don't.
Yeah.
It could be 24-hour live by accident.
24-hour live. Right, guys, I think we're going to call it because I'm struggling. I'm genuinely struggling, and I do apologise for this. I hope it's been entertaining anyway. We'll be back again next Sunday at our usual time of 6 p.m. in the UK. I don't know what that time is in Idaho, so apologies wherever else you are in the world. But 6 p.m. UK time, or GMT. Is it GMT? British Summer Time now. We'll be back. Yeah, that's it. All right, guys, you take care, and we'll be back Sunday.
See you later.